We're diving deep into the legendary 1975 Lincoln cent with no mint mark, a coin so rare and so powerful in its value. Collectors and dealers are hunting it down across the country, offering life-altering sums to those lucky enough to find it. If you're holding on to old coins or inherited a jar full of pennies from your parents or grandparents, don't blink, because that unassuming little coin, possibly sitting unnoticed in your home, could be your ticket to wealth, freedom, and the life you've been quietly craving. But this isn't just about a coin. It's about you, the hidden millionaire who doesn't even know it yet. Stay with me because in the next few minutes we'll explore why this 1975 no-mint mark penny is so insanely valuable, how to identify it, why its market price is skyrocketing, and why time is running out to act. By the end, you'll know if you're sitting on a fortune, and what you need to do to claim it. And stick around to the end, because I'll reveal one single mistake most people make that costs them hundreds of thousands, without ever knowing it. Let's rewind the clock. It's 1975. Gas costs 44 cents a gallon. Americans are still reeling from Watergate, and coins are being minted by the millions across Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. But something strange happens that year, a rare error, a misprint, a fluke of history. And from it, the no-mint mark Lincoln penny is born. Now, normally, Philadelphia coins don't carry a mint mark, but what makes the 1975 penny so spectacular is not just the lack of the mark. It's the minute, subtle variations that separate the average from the extraordinary. A small difference in strike, a slightly misplaced detail in Lincoln's profile, an error in planchet composition. One of these coins, authenticated by experts, recently sold for $850,000 at auction. And here's the kicker. Experts believe dozens more are still out there, sitting in old collections, hidden in drawers, or being unknowingly spent on coffee and gum. Crazy, right? Makes you want to dump out every jar of coins in the house, doesn't it? But here's the thing. Not all 1975 pennies are valuable. That's where knowledge and timing comes in. The demand for rare coins is exploding. With inflation rising and traditional investments growing shaky, collectors and investors are turning to tangible assets. And guess what's at the top of their list? Rare pennies. Right now, high-net-worth collectors are offering cash payments on the spot for verified rare coins, especially the 1975 no-mint mark penny. Coin expos, auction houses, and private dealers are engaged in bidding wars. This isn't some dusty collector's hobby anymore. It's a financial movement. Feeling excited yet? You should be, but also a little nervous, because the window to act is narrowing, and the fear of missing out is real. Pattern interrupt, a touch of humor. I mean, can you imagine being the guy who gave $1 million penny as change at a gas station? Somewhere out there is a 19-year-old cashier sipping his soda, completely unaware he just inherited a college fund. Don't be that guy. Now that you know the treasure exists and the clock is ticking, here's what you need to do. First, go through your collection. Every jar, every coin box, every old wallet your grandfather kept in the attic. Look for 1975 Lincoln pennies and check carefully. No mint mark, sharp details, unusual strike, or misalignment. That might just be the 1.2. Get it professionally evaluated. Not by just anyone. Look for reputable grading services like PCGS or NGC. A coin worth $1 million deserves a serious appraisal. Third, stay alert. This market is fluid, dynamic, and right now white-hot. What's worth $850,000 today might be worth more tomorrow. You're not just hunting for a coin. You're stepping into a legacy of wealth. The kind that doesn't just pay bills, it changes lives, pays off houses, sends grandkids to college, builds the kind of financial freedom most people only dream of. And here's the cliffhanger I promised. There's a second coin, even rarer than the 1975 no-mint mark penny. And it's been quietly breaking auction records with little public attention. Could be sitting next to your 1975 penny right now. But I'll save that for our next video. So if you're serious about living wealthier, making smart moves, and uncovering the hidden fortune in your own hands, subscribe, hit that bell, and check out the link in the description for resources that'll guide you through coin verification, trusted buyers, and how to turn copper into cash. Because in a world chasing fast money, you might already be holding slow money that's finally ready to explode. Imagine stumbling across a simple penny in your change jar. Rusty, old, and overlooked, and finding out it's worth more than your house, your car, maybe even your entire retirement fund. Sounds impossible, right? But this isn't fantasy. This is real. There's a 1980 Lincoln penny, yes, a 1-cent coin, with no mint mark, and it's currently selling for a jaw-dropping $750,000. And that's just the beginning. Some experts believe its value could climb into the millions. If you're holding on to one of these and don't know it, you're literally sitting on a fortune. But before you dig through your drawer of loose change, let me tell you something. This isn't just about a coin. It's about an opportunity, a second chance, a once-in-a-lifetime shot to change your financial destiny from something forgotten in a dusty coin jar. And if you're aged between 30 and 65, living in the US, and wondering if your old pennies might be the ticket to a wealthier, freer life, you're exactly who this video is for. Let's rewind the clock back to 1980. It was the year the world saw Pac-Man for the first time, CNN launched, and inflation was squeezing America's economy tighter than a jar of pennies in a glove box. The US Mint was churning out billions of coins, but among those countless Lincoln cents, a few rare anomalies slipped through. One of those was the 1980 no mint mark Lincoln penny, struck in Philadelphia but missing the usual P mint mark that should have been stamped into the coin. Now you might be thinking, so what? It's just a tiny missing letter. But in the world of coin collecting, rarity is everything. A small mistake on a coin, that's not a flaw, it's a treasure. It's like finding a Picasso with a smudge only you can recognize. And collectors, especially the ultra-wealthy ones, will pay massive premiums for coins that are rare, mysterious, and in near-perfect condition. Now here's where the story gets even more interesting. These 1980 no-mint mark pennies were so sparsely minted that experts estimate only a handful remain in high-grade condition today. One of them, graded nearly flawless, was auctioned recently for $750,000. That's $750,000 for a coin you could have sworn was worthless. Now, let's talk about what's really at stake here. There's a reason most people never find coins like this. They simply don't look. They dismiss old pennies as junk, toss them into drawers, or worse, trade them in at Coinstar machines for pennies on the dollar. But here's the truth. You might have one. Right now. In your kitchen, your garage, your parents' attic. The average American home holds over $100 in loose change, and every so often, one of those coins is a hidden gem worth a fortune. The fear? It's missing it, selling it too soon, giving it away without ever realizing what you had. That's the nightmare we're here to avoid. So what should you look for? That 1980 Lincoln penny should be missing a mint mark just below the year. The color should be a deep coppery red, not faded, but preserved. And if the condition is pristine, especially if it's never been in circulation, then congratulations, you may be holding the coin that sets you financially free. Now, a quick reset here. Are you starting to sweat a little? Feel that twinge of curiosity? Maybe even a twinge of panic wondering where your old coins are? That's exactly what you should be feeling. Because you're not just watching this video anymore. You're standing on the edge of a massive turning point. Let's fast forward now to a different version of your life. The version where you did find that rare coin. You checked your collection, had it graded by a professional, and within months it sold at auction. Suddenly, your life shifts. No more credit card debt. No more working weekends. Maybe even no more job, period. You've just turned a single penny into a lifestyle of freedom, options, and legacy. That's not just a dream. It's the exact story of collectors and average Americans who've sold rare coins like the 1980 no mint mark Lincoln penny and walked away with 6- and 7-figure checks. These coins are in extremely high demand. Private collectors, investment firms, and coin brokers are actively scouring the market to find the few that remain. And when one appears, the bidding war begins. The urgency, it's real. Because as awareness grows, so does competition. If you wait too long, someone else will take the prize. Now here's the cliffhanger you didn't see coming. There's another variation of this coin that might be even rarer, and its existence hasn't even been confirmed yet. But whispers in the collector world suggest it could surface soon. Could you be the one holding it? Before this video ends, go grab your old coin jar. Dust off that childhood collection. And whatever you do, Do not sell a single penny until you've done your homework, or better yet, reached out to a reputable coin grading expert. Because in the right hands, your penny could be a lottery ticket. And that hand could be yours. If you've enjoyed this journey and want more stories about rare coins, hidden treasures, and how ordinary people like you are building wealth from forgotten items, hit that subscribe button now. You're not just collecting coins, you're collecting freedom. And remember, wealth doesn't always come from a paycheck. Sometimes it comes from a penny. Imagine reaching into your old coin jar, pulling out a dusty Lincoln penny, and realizing it's worth $750,000. Sounds unbelievable, right? But this isn't some fantasy or urban legend. This is real. A single 1979 D Lincoln cent, yes, the one with the tiny D mint mark from Denver, has shocked the numismatic world by commanding a value close to $750,000. And here's the kicker. Thousands more could still be hiding in drawers, attics, and forgotten coffee tins across America. One of them could be yours. Let's rewind to 1979. Jimmy Carter was in office, gas lines were long, disco was dying, and millions of Lincoln pennies were pouring out of the Denver Mint. At first glance, these coins were just ordinary copper-plated zinc cents. Nothing special. But among the mass-produced coins, a few extraordinary anomalies emerged. Pennies with rare striking errors, remarkable die characteristics, and preserved in near-pristine condition. That's where the story changes. Now, imagine you're holding one of these ultra-rare, mint-state 1979 D pennies with a dramatic misstrike or double die. That coin isn't worth 1 cent. It's worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, and in recent auctions, some have brushed up against $750,000 in high-grade conditions. Well, tell that to the collectors and investors bidding like it's the Super Bowl of coins. And here's where the emotion kicks in, because most people walk past this treasure every single day without knowing it. What makes the 1979 D Lincoln cent so valuable? Let's break it down without putting you to sleep with coin jargon. It's all about rarity, condition, and demand. Certain versions of this penny feature a rare misalignment in the strike or doubling in Lincoln's profile, flaws so rare they've turned into golden tickets. Add to that a flawless mint state condition, a grade like MS67 red or better, and you're suddenly looking at a coin that's being hunted by elite collectors and investors. This isn't just a coin anymore. It's a trophy, an icon, a piece of American history with the power to change your life. The market is on fire. With coin values surging over the last few years, thanks to inflation hedging, historical appreciation, and passionate collectors, the 1979 D cent has risen as one of the most talked about coins in the industry. Coin dealers are scrambling to source them. Online auctions are buzzing. Every day, more eyes are opening to the wealth hiding in their change jars. Now, you might be thinking, come on, what are the odds? Well, let me ask you this, what's the risk of not checking? One quick search through your stash could mean the difference between a forgotten penny and a once-in-a-lifetime payout. Okay, quick pause. Do you know how many of us have a junk drawer full of loose change, expired batteries, and mystery keys to nowhere? What if one of those keys actually unlocked a $750,000 payday, and it just happens to be round, copper, and stamped 1979 with a tiny D? Here's the truth. The window of opportunity is closing fast. As more collectors wake up to the hidden gems in circulation, the supply is tightening. The highest grades are already being snapped up at record prices. And the more that are discovered, the rarer the remaining ones become. This is a game of first movers, and those who hesitate miss out. You could be just one coin away from changing everything. Paying off debt, buying that dream home, funding your retirement, or even traveling the world. All from a penny most people overlook. And it's not just about the money, it's about the story. Imagine telling friends, I found a penny worth $750,000 in my kitchen drawer. That's not luck. That's awareness. That's action. And here's your moment. Don't let the opportunity slip through your fingers because you didn't check. Go grab your old coins, inspect every 1979 D Lincoln penny, and start your treasure hunt today. And if you're wondering how to spot the difference between an ordinary penny and one worth a fortune, well, that's where it gets even more exciting. In our next video, we'll break down exactly what to look for, the grading secrets that can 10x your coin's value, and how to sell it safely and profitably without getting ripped off. Imagine reaching into your drawer, pulling out a dusty jar of old coins, and finding a penny, yes, a single copper penny, that could change your life forever. Sounds like fantasy, right? Well, let me tell you something shocking. A 1978 Lincoln cent with no mint mark recently made headlines in the collector world for being worth up to $850,000. And in some cases, experts suggest its value could soar past $1 million. This isn't a scam. This isn't a gimmick. This is the real story of how one forgotten cent turned into a once-in-a-lifetime jackpot. If you've got old coins lying around, you might be sitting on a treasure chest. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly why the 1978 no mint mark penny is in such high demand, how to check if you own one, and what to do before you make the biggest mistake of your life. Selling it for less. Let's rewind to a simpler time, 1978. Jimmy Carter was in the White House, gas was under $1, and penny production was just another part of the U.S. Mint's routine operation. Or so it seemed. But something extraordinary happened that year at the Philadelphia Mint. A small number of Lincoln cents were struck without the traditional mint mark, a tiny detail that normally flies under the radar. For most people, a penny is just pocket change. But for rare coin collectors and dealers, that missing mint mark is like spotting a diamond in the sand. Now here's where it gets really interesting. Most 1978 pennies were struck with either a D or no mint mark at all, but the absence of the mint mark in the specific version of the coin signifies an unusual die error, or in some cases, a planchet anomaly that renders it astronomically rare. It's not just a manufacturing mistake. It's a once-in-a-generation blunder that collectors will pay top dollar for. And today, with demand from high-net-worth collectors and international buyers soaring, prices are reaching levels nobody predicted. The last known specimen in pristine condition? It was valued at $850,000, and that number is still climbing. It begs the question, could you be holding one of these ultra-rare pieces right now, completely unaware? Let's talk about money. Because let's face it, that's why we're here. Most coins in circulation are worth, well, a cent. But a coin like this is the equivalent of winning a lottery ticket you didn't know you had. And it's not just about one penny. This is about a new wave of interest in rare U.S. coins that has been sweeping across the country like wildfire. Major auction houses are now spotlighting old Lincoln cents. Private collectors are placing urgent bids. Entire coin portfolios are being built around the 1978 no mint mark penny. And yes, investors are betting big on copper. So why now? Why is this specific coin exploding in value? The answer is scarcity combined with condition and timing. There are very few known 1978 no mint mark pennies in mint state, and even fewer in grades above MS65. That level of perfection is what sets a $10 penny apart from an $850,000 one. But here's the twist, these coins are still out there. Unlike gold bars or real estate, these pennies weren't tracked or traced. They slipped into circulation silently, hidden among billions of ordinary coins. That's why people just like you, retirees, parents cleaning out attics, even kids rummaging through change jars, are discovering life-changing wealth in the most unexpected places. And here's where it gets urgent. Every year that passes, these coins disappear. They're spent, lost, or worse, sold for face value. So if you're holding on to old coins and haven't checked for the 1978 no mint mark, you're playing a dangerous game of what if. Because the moment that last known specimen is sold, the market will shift. And if you're not in by then, you're out. Now, I know what you're thinking. It's just a penny. What's next? $1 million paperclip. Hey, I get it. Sounds crazy. But guess what? A grilled cheese sandwich with an image of the Virgin Mary once sold for $28,000. A Beanie Baby sold for $500,000. So yes, a penny being worth $850,000? That's actually one of the more reasonable things happening in today's collector's world. Wild, right? Act 3, the call to action and the cliffhanger. So here's where it all comes together. If you're serious about building wealth, living the lifestyle you've dreamed of, and turning forgotten coins into a financial breakthrough, this is your sign. Check your coin jars. Go through those old drawers. Look for that 1978 Lincoln cent, especially the ones with no mint mark. And don't just glance. Examine them. Get a second opinion. Because identifying the real one could put you on the fast track to 6 or even 7 figures. But we're not done yet. In our next video, I'm going to reveal the exact traits that distinguish the authentic $1 million 1978 no-mint mark penny from the fakes. It's a fine line between fortune and failure, and knowing the difference could be the key that unlocks your new life. You won't want to miss it, so before you walk away thinking, it's just a penny, ask yourself, what if it's not? What if that little copper coin could change everything? Subscribe now, and let's uncover more hidden treasures, because your wealth might be hiding in plain sight. Imagine walking to your kitchen drawer, rummaging through an old jar of pennies, and unknowingly brushing past a coin worth almost $1 million. What if I told you that a seemingly ordinary 1970 Lincoln penny, yes, that little brown coin you probably ignored for decades, could change your life overnight? Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll not only understand why this rare coin is commanding up to $950,000 on the market right now, but how you might already own one without even knowing it. Sounds far-fetched. It's not. The world of rare coins is full of stories like this, quiet, unnoticed treasures that turn average folks into millionaires. And today, we're diving into one of the most sensational stories of all. The 1970 Lincoln cent. The small copper giant that's taken collectors and investors by storm. Don't blink. This could be the beginning of your own financial breakthrough. Let's rewind to the year 1970. The Vietnam War was raging, the Beatles had just broken up, and in Denver, the U.S. Mint was producing millions of Lincoln cents. Most of them plain and common. But hidden among them was a mysterious misprint. A small batch of coins so precise yet so flawed, it's baffled experts for decades. The 1970 penny with a double die obverse became one of the most sought-after coins in American numismatic history. Here's where the story gets even more interesting. While most coins from that era are worth next to nothing, this variant became a legend. Why? Because of its sharp doubling on the date and the inscriptions. You can actually see the numbers of the year 1970 doubled with the naked eye, and that's a detail that could add 6 figures to your net worth. Now, if you're thinking, come on, how likely is that? Let me ask you this. Do you know the real value of the coins in your home right now? Have you actually looked at them? Pattern interrupt, light humor, and hey, before you say, but I don't have time to dig through pennies. Let's be honest. You probably spent more time today deciding what to watch on Netflix than it would take to check a handful of old coins. Just saying. And what's the potential reward? A new house? Debt-free living? That's a pretty sweet return for a 5-minute check. Now here's where things get serious. This coin isn't just valuable. It's exploding in demand. Top collectors, investors, even auction houses are hunting for these like modern-day treasure seekers. A verified 1970 double die penny in pristine condition recently sold for $950,000. That's right, nearly $1 million for a coin smaller than a cookie. And don't think the window is wide open forever. The rare coin market is heating up like never before. With economic uncertainty on the rise, wealthy buyers are shifting investments into tangible assets, like gold, real estate, and yes, rare coins. Scarcity drives value. There are believed to be only a few dozen verified examples of this penny left in circulation. Every day that passes, more get locked away in private collections, driving the value up even further. Let me put it this way, if you're sitting on one of these coins and you don't know it yet, you're not just missing out. You're potentially sitting on a life-changing opportunity and watching it pass you by. But how do you know if your 1970 penny is the one? What signs should you be looking for? And what exact features turn an ordinary 1-cent coin into $1 million payday? Stick around, because in just a moment, I'm going to walk you through the exact details to watch for. Details that could change your financial future forever. Act 3, the transformation, how to identify, verify, and profit. Alright, here's what you need to know. The key to identifying the ultra-rare 1970 double die penny lies in the date and the lettering. Focus on the 1970 itself. If you see a strong doubling effect, particularly on the 7 or 0, you might be holding the jackpot. Also, inspect the words Liberty and In God We Trust. Those, too, should show signs of sharp, visible doubling. And yes, even if it's slightly worn, it could still be worth tens, if not hundreds of thousands. Next step, do not clean the coin. This is crucial. Cleaning a rare coin can destroy its value instantly. Instead, place it in a soft holder, and contact a certified coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. These companies are the gatekeepers to the highest sale prices. Without certification, it's just a hunch. With certification, it's a headline-worthy asset. Now, you might be thinking, even if I don't have that exact coin, could other coins be worth big money too? And the answer is yes, absolutely. In fact, there are dozens of valuable pennies from the 20th century, many worth thousands. The 1943 bronze cent, the 1955 double die, and yes, the 1969 S penny. Some of these have sold for more than a Ferrari. Your pocket change could be your retirement plan. Quick question, how many times have you passed a coin on the street and not picked it up? What if it was this coin? What if someone else found it and you missed your shot? Here's the bottom line. The 1970 D penny isn't just a rare coin. It's a wake-up call, a reminder that incredible value is often hiding in plain sight. You don't need to be a collector. You don't need a degree in numismatics. All you need is curiosity, awareness, and the willingness to look. The opportunity is real, the market is booming, and your time is now, so don't wait. Go grab that jar, that drawer, that box in the attic and start looking. You might just hold the key to your financial freedom in the palm of your hand. And if you think this was exciting, wait until you hear what other coins are out there. Some worth even more. But that's a story for another day, or maybe our next video. Until then, keep searching, stay curious, and remember, the next millionaire might be watching this video right now. Want to know which other coins are worth over $100,000? Click on the next video now and join thousands of others turning pocket change into profit. Your wealthy lifestyle might just start with a penny. Imagine opening an old drawer, an envelope filled with rusted memories, and tucked in there is a small copper coin, just a penny. But not just any penny. It's a 1968 Lincoln 1-cent coin with a tiny D beneath the date. Now, what if I told you that little coin could be worth nearly $1 million today? Yes, $950,000. Just think about that. A penny you could have ignored, flipped into a fountain, or dropped under your car seat, could now be your ticket to financial freedom. Welcome to the hidden world of rare coins, a world where something as ordinary as pocket change holds extraordinary power. Power to rewrite your life story. If you're someone who's kept old coins in jars, boxes, or albums, if you've inherited your grandfather's coin collection or just held on to pennies just in case, you might be sitting on a fortune without even realizing it. And today, I'm going to show you why the 1968 D Lincoln penny is turning heads across the numismatic world, and how it's created a storm in the rare coin market like never before. But don't go running to your piggy bank just yet, because there's one rare feature that sets this penny apart. And it's not just about the date or the mint mark, it's about something far more rare, elusive, and mysterious. Let's go back to 1968. The world was changing, civil rights movements, cultural revolutions, a man about to walk on the moon. Amid all this, the Denver Mint quietly pressed out millions of 1-cent coins. But buried in that mass production was a mistake, or rather, a miracle, a double die, a misalignment, a minting anomaly that would escape the eyes of many but would one day be worth more than most homes. Now, here's the catch, not all 1968 D pennies are valuable. You need to know what to look for. The legendary versions show signs of doubling, particularly in the words liberty or in God we trust. And sometimes the date itself appears slightly echoed. The error is subtle, almost ghost-like, but to a trained eye, it's a golden beacon. Why? Because it's rare. Extremely rare. Only a handful have been found in pristine condition, and collectors are desperate to get their hands on them. Today, a certified mint condition 1968 D penny with this doubling error is fetching offers up to $950,000. You heard that right. That's more than the price of a luxury penthouse in Miami. And here's where things get interesting. Demand for these coins is skyrocketing and supply, scarce as ever. Every day that passes, fewer of these coins are found, and more buyers are lining up. Would you rather have $1 million in your bank account today or a shoebox of old pennies to sort through for 15 minutes? Before you answer, remember, those pennies might just be worth more. Transition TO Act 3, the opportunity and urgency. Now, I know what you're thinking. Okay, this all sounds amazing, but how do I know if my 1968 D penny is the jackpot? That's where the adventure begins. Because you're not just a collector, you're a treasure hunter. And your attic, garage, or dusty coin album might just hold one of the most sought-after pennies in American history. Think of the thrill, the adrenaline rush, as you scan the face of each coin, searching for that tiny error that transforms a cent into a life-changing asset. And the clock is ticking. With every new discovery, prices shift, markets move, and investors swoop in. The rare coin market is not just for hobbyists anymore. It's become a high-stakes arena for the wealth builders, the legacy seekers, the dream chasers. Auctions are seeing record-breaking bids, and dealers are begging for verified specimens. The demand is not just high, it's explosive. You do not want to be the person who hears this story next year and says, "I had one of those coins, but I didn't bother checking." Fear of missing out? Good, because this is your moment to act, to search, to check, to verify, and to cash in. Still with me? Good, because we're about to reveal the next steps, the exact process you need to follow to find out if your coin is worth thousands, or nearly $1 million. In our next video, we'll walk through how to spot the doubling with close-up comparisons, how to get your coin authenticated, and most importantly, how to sell it to the right buyers at the highest possible value. Because in the world of rare coins, knowing the right buyer makes all the difference between a few $100s and hundreds of thousands. What if I told you that a single penny, yes, the 1-cent coin you might have tossed into a jar years ago, could be worth over $650,000 today? Sounds crazy, right? But in the world of rare coins, truth is often more unbelievable than fiction. And right now, one specific coin from 1971, the Lincoln 1-cent penny with the S mint mark, is not only real, it's highly sought after by collectors, dealers, and millionaires who are hungry to add it to their portfolios. You're cleaning out your garage or digging through an old piggy bank, and there it is, an old copper penny, brown with age. Most people would shrug and move on. But you, after watching this video, will know better. You'll know this little coin could change everything. Before you even think of giving your pennies away to Coinstar or trading them in at the bank, watch closely. Because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for, what it's worth, and how to turn that small copper disc into a luxurious lifestyle you deserve. Let's go back in time to 1971. When gas was 36 cents a gallon, Nixon was in office, and nobody suspected a humble penny could one day be more valuable than a house. The 1971 S. Lincoln cent was minted in San Francisco. While millions were produced, a small number were struck with an extremely rare feature: a double die obverse. Now, unless you're a coin expert, which, let's face it, most of us aren't, you're probably asking, what does double die even mean? Think of it like this: the minting press got a little dizzy. It struck the coin twice, ever so slightly off. The result? An error that's not a flaw but a jackpot. On these coins, you'll notice a doubling in the letters Liberty or In God We Trust. And especially on the date point, one of these very pennies was graded and auctioned off recently for a jaw-dropping $650,000. Yes, that's 6 figures for a single old penny that someone might have once used to buy bubblegum. Today, collectors will pay a fortune for one in pristine condition, and even those in lower grades can fetch thousands. And let me tell you, there's not just one. Several of these 1971 S double die obverse pennies are still unaccounted for, which means they could be in your drawer, in your wallet, or sitting quietly in a dusty coin collection you inherited. Let's pause for a second. Have you ever looked closely at your pocket change? No? Well, it might be time to grab that magnifying glass or your phone camera zoom and take a second look. How do you turn this hidden gem into 6 figures or more? First, don't rush to sell just yet. You want to know what you have. If you spot that 1971 S mint mark and any signs of doubling on the obverse, your next step is professional grading. You're not just selling a coin. You're entering a competitive market where condition, rarity, and certification are everything. PCGS and NGC are 2 of the top grading services that can authenticate your coin and assign a grade that could push your penny into millionaire territory. And once that's done, get ready for the auction houses, private collectors, and elite dealers who will come calling. The demand is fierce, and prices are only going up. But here's the cliffhanger. What if I told you this isn't the only penny that could make you rich? The 1971 S is just one of several Lincoln cents currently commanding unbelievable prices on the open market. And many of them were minted in the same decade you may have grown up in, spent coins from, or saved in your childhood coin folders. Well, that's the thrilling part. In our next video, we'll reveal 3 more Lincoln pennies. Just as rare, just as valuable, and still floating in circulation or lying forgotten in old collections. One of them has sold for over $2 million, but before you go digging, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications because timing is everything, and you don't want to miss out while others cash in. This is more than just coin collecting. This is treasure hunting. And your future might just be hiding in plain sight. You're not just watching a video, you're unlocking a new way of thinking. This isn't about pennies anymore. It's about discovering hidden value, realizing your potential, and stepping into a lifestyle you never thought possible. It's time to stop letting your past gather dust and start seeing it as a portfolio. Your road to wealth doesn't begin with Wall Street. It starts in your own pocket. And it could begin today. So go check your change.